Okay, so I want to read something that I wrote this morning, November 24th, 2018. It's about 6 a.m. in the morning, and often the Lord gives me things to write about what He's saying to the body of Christ, or just wisdom that He wants me to share. This time it's about love, it's about mates, it's about options. So I'm just going to read what I have written down. My name is Anna Clark. You can find me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Apostle Anna Clark. I'm a prophet and a seer, and as a scribe, because He always has me writing super early in the morning about whatever the Lord's saying, perhaps, about the supernatural, about mysteries, about the remnant, prophetic things and things like that. But today I want to share about love. And so here we go. So a good mate or an option or a to-be spouse or potential spouse is like one going to the store and seeing something of value, great taste or flavor and worth, or some style that would complement his life. And he goes around seeing other items or choices, but when he sees what he really wants, he may need to go away and struggle and fight through exhaustion as he works to earn. And this builds endurance. So as a man thinks that he's building, God's really building him. God's always building us as we're building something, right? So God does this often to men right before they marry. I've just been observing people that I know would marry, and I can see when God turns things up. And it seems that they get storms and tests and fiery trials to build one so that they come out gold. And it's even so that you have an endurance about you, so that when the tests and trials of family life, you'll hopefully endure, because it's in you that you're able to, and you've seen how you could, and even with God, right? So a lot of times God makes people go through this. But anyway, a man that's looking for a mate or trying to choose one or weigh out his options may be like this, okay? So as they're going through this trial time, perhaps, but they've just met somebody that's maybe they want to be with, or maybe there's a couple they're considering and they're trying to see which might fit better or would be worth the risk. God lets them go through certain things. And so they may, even in those times of endurance where they have to endure, in those trying times, it can make that person question why they're going through so much for this prize. And in those moments that they question self, they keep remembering their reason why they need to keep pushing in order to build enough outwardly to obtain or buy or pay the price for the prize. But God rigged it so all the work done for it at the self-same time builds more, and it builds better character, so that this character can step up and go back to pay the price to obtain this item, prize, spouse, mate, perhaps twin flame. If anyone takes too long to pay the price for the prize, then they are sleeping on an offer, and this prize is up for another who will make the efforts needed to obtain and win. A man may like to shop around, window shop, compare prices. What is this going to cost me in my life? Even what will this cost me to take care of this? He may compare the prices, see the value, see the differences in values amongst a few, marvel at the beauty of some, maybe even see the values that others hold, and he has to compare. He may marvel at the beauty of an item or a treasure or a prize that costs Why shouldn't he shop around? He's about to take it to his house. Do you take trash to your house? Do you just take anything into your house? No, you consider before you take anything home, usually. You consider what you want to keep, what you want to put in your house, your kitchen, or wherever in your house. You know, what is of value to you? Like, what will it matter to you? Does it matter to you? What does it matter to you? As shopping, perhaps you may choose something cheaper or easier to obtain, as in something not as valuable to him, but it's there. It's easy to get. It's grabbable. It's havable. But just because it's havable doesn't mean that it's valuable. He may choose what's easiest to get for now, but knowing it won't really complement his life, nor fulfill it. He may choose what he feels others expect for him to have in a certain look, or something that comes from a certain place, made in a certain place, perhaps. Perhaps it came from maybe the same place that he came from, or had the same sort of values that he had, or beliefs that he had. Perhaps it's acceptable to those he knows look at his life and judge him. And though he's grown, he cares what those that look at his life think of him. If he's busy fitting their mold, he's not understanding his design. And so he may obtain to please others and take it home, even though it's of no value to him. So perhaps he chooses what he thinks others' ideas are for him. But you have to unlearn this in order to get what God really has for you. He has to understand that he's a separate entity and that he's not truly happy with another's desires for him. See, that's a special place to have a mate in your heart or have a mate in your house. It's a special place, so nothing, not just anything, should be set in that place. Not something of another's desire, not something of your family's expectation, not something of your religious leaders, perhaps, teachings for you as to whom should be in your life. Although the Lord is not joining same-sex couples. He's not joining confusion. He's joining that which can really birth things together. Now, he'll let you do what you want to do and be the expression that you want to be. But I'm talking about God giving you the person that he made for you. They may not be or come from what you came from. But you'll know when God's in it. Even beyond the differences, you'll know when God's in it. So don't let others' ideas for you make you choose and carry close to your life what is not truly a part of you. Why would I put myself and marry myself to somebody else's expectation for me? How unfulfilling and how fake can we get, and how unauthentic to our true self. I'm talking about a divine connection, that which the Lord brings together. This is so crucial. Because you are a separate entity. So before the Lord can join you to whom he has for you, you have to unlearn what others said you are and where they thought they were taking you and making you like them. Are you living another's idea? You have to understand that you are a separate entity and understand who you are and understand where God's taking you, the gifts that you carry, the purpose that you have within yourself. And that even can help you recognize your best mate or option. Because you'll be able to see, can they walk with me or support me if I go in that direction? Maybe they aren't the same expression and tool or power that God uses in the earth. But can they support you and not tear you down and walk with you as you do what it is that He sent you to do? I don't want anything that looks good to others or fits their expectation or fits their mold, but it's not what God has for me. Give me what's out of the box if it has to be out of the box, according to those whom have raised me. I will not spend my life living in another's expectation. You should write that down. Stick it on your fridge. You are a separate entity, so you have to understand that you are a separate entity so that you can be authentic. Because you won't be happy otherwise when you're doing another's idea and expectation for you. If you're doing another's idea and expectation for you, I don't care if you have wrinkles, you have not grown up. Praise the Lord or shut your mouth. Praise the Lord or shut your mouth. Okay, so anyway, it's not authentic to this man who's like the shopper and his true desires if he takes this thing on, right? So why buy or parade around what is not true to you and who you are and true to what you need and are wired by God to want, to love, to cherish, to crave, to need naturally? That good thing is what you want. You know, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. And also the Proverbs 31 wife, she spoils him, or she takes care of him in a way that he has no need of spoil. So she may feel like she keeps giving out and loving him and maybe helping him. But that's what God has graced her to even do. And because of that, he won't need, unless he's a dog, to look elsewhere. So that good thing is what you want. Men, that good thing is what you want, truly. It matches that inner man or complements that. You should feel like Eve came out of you. Like, well, she's like a part of me. And that's why he was like flesh of my flesh, bone of my bones. Because it felt like, and this is what twin flames see. They see someone coming out of them. Because it looks like the female version of you, men. It looks like the female version of you if there ever was. That's what Eve is. She came from his rib. She was made from his rib. The rib is like symbolically the heart guard. She's somebody that would want to guard his heart. She's somebody that's for him. She might fight for him. She might go help him get something that he needs to get. She might help defend him. She might defend his heart, maybe even by prayer. This woman could be a prayer warrior. This woman could be somebody that looks out for him, guards his heart so it can't get kicked, so it can't get hit. She looks out for him. She wants to see him do well. She's excited to guard his heart. She wants to guard his heart. If any woman doesn't want to guard your heart, if she's not really looking out for your heart, why would you call her Eve, which would be one that came from your rib, which would be one that's to guard your heart? Why would you pick something that don't even match you, that doesn't dominate, that's not even a component to your life, truly, that doesn't really add to your life and feels close to your heart? So anyway, the good thing is what you want. It matches that inner. Don't settle for what doesn't please or fit your life. And wherever you have like unrealistic expectations, or you're overly selfish in an area, or you need some balancing out, those are the areas that the Lord I believe, sands down in us, and he gets out of us even by realization upon, those bumps and rifts in the road as you meet, when you're meeting with that special someone. They will make you see things in yourself that others did not make you see, because whatever low vibration or stupidity you were working in, or immaturity you were working in and talking through and moving through, or selfishness, or just straight beastly desires you were just moving through, and irrational ideas you were living in. When you are dealing with somebody that's not who God's giving to you, they don't challenge you. They don't make you see what's in you. Ooh, that was ugly. I didn't know that was in there. I have to fix that. I have to stop that. I need God to help me quit that. Like, I need to put that down. I need to not do that anymore. I need to not react that way. I need to not act that way. Wait, that's not fitting. Like, that worked with so-and-so because so-and-so didn't even notice. So-and-so didn't know that I was a manipulator then. So-and-so didn't know that I was immature in that area. So-and-so did not challenge me. But this one, I don't want to lose this one, so I want to stop doing that. I want to start doing this. When something better comes along, or the difference comes along, it makes everybody else make sense. And it makes you realize things that you didn't realize before. They give you aha moments that you didn't have before. Because something different has stepped on the scene. Something different is standing before you, Adam. You're waking up out of a sleep and a slumber. Yeah, you were hanging out with the cheetahs and the monkeys and the orangutans, and you were hanging out with these animals, or flesh beast-led nature ones, or ones that aren't even as smart as you. You didn't even realize you could have had somebody smarter, or somebody with wisdom, or somebody with the mind that needed to be challenged, and a mind that even challenges you. You didn't realize and recognize that there are women that need to be challenged in order to be held. Like, they don't want your arms if your mind won't even entertain them somewhat with a conversation and a challenge. Who just lets you use them? And you don't even challenge their mind, and they don't even ask for something better. Maybe the others looked fine, but they were ditzy. Maybe the others didn't challenge you, but you didn't know until the difference came along. And you didn't know where you needed to change until a change agent came along, or the person that connects with you. And once you guys really click and get it together and make the decision that changes will come, you didn't know that you needed to change until something of a different value came along. So anyway, yeah, but make sure you have someone that challenges you, because that's healthy. I mean, you can have somebody that doesn't challenge you, and that maybe allows you to stay in immaturities. And those can be soulmates, but that won't be a twin flame. Anyway, so don't settle for what doesn't please and what fits other people's life. And don't settle for what doesn't really fit your life and where you want to go. Do they have to believe everything you believe? Do they have to have the exact standards or values or just things that you go by? Do they have to be the same? No, you don't have to be the same. The Lord is God of all. There's a verse that says that. That means they don't even have to be the same. They don't have to be the same. But I need you to recognize if the Lord's in it. Because when the Lord's in it, there's going to be signs and wonders. Your healings won't stop or be interrupted. Your glory is not going to be halted. You will be growing even if you're in a storm. When the Lord's in it, there will be many signs, confirmations, and many wonders, many things that make you say, wow, and keep you in awe of God. But when God's not in it, it could be destructive. It could be nice and okay, but it's a sidetracker. It's not challenging you. And you'll be unfulfilled. Anyway, okay. So let me go back to what I wrote. So the good thing matches your inner desire. It matches some of the things that you want, that you always wanted, but you never could word it. But now, whoa, I found it. And God knew how funny God is that He brings this along. And it answers some of the things that you kind of always wanted and wondered, can you have? But when you meet this person that's a special design for your life, and it fits better than the other components you've had before. And they could be good in some areas where this one's not. But when God's in it, there's going to be a blessing in this. Even though you're both perfectly imperfect. So anyway, men, why date or buy or pay the cost for or parade around what is not true to you, who you are, and true to what you need? And what's another style? Why would you parade around in another style that's not true to you and how God made you and leads you? It's like wearing someone else's style. It's like a facade. And why is that worth your time when it's not even authentic to you? Because that means you're living your life in a facade. And a facade is never fulfilling. Don't get what you believe others believe you should have. Instead, go for what God leads you to. Key point. Go to what and go to who God leads you to. Now, He will let you own your life and sit on the throne of your life ruling, and sit in your self-life and rule it, and just grab anybody you want for whatever reasons, just material or sexual, or to look a certain way. But what God's in is going to bless you. And it should be bringing you into a position of taking dominion. And you'll not put down your purpose with the connection that God's leading you to. And you shouldn't be dragging someone along when God's joining it. They're walking with you. If they're going to walk right. If they won't and they waste your time and they become destructive, that's when the Lord might separate a house. Put a sword on a house. So anyway, don't get what you believe others believe you should have. Instead, go for what God leads you to. Getting what others believe you should have is like wearing someone else's style. Why are you wearing those bell-bottom pants and butterfly collar shirts when it doesn't fit who you are? Be authentic to you. Don't get that girl that has this or that when you are not drawn to that. And don't get that just because your family thinks that you should have that. Anyway, so this person that could be shopping around may choose what looks good but is not of value. He may know it's not of true value. He may know that it's not truly his favorite. He can have secret desire for another option. And this is what happens when you live for others' ideas for your life. When you live in another's idea or agenda for your life. That doesn't make any sense. God would not ask you to live in another's agenda or idea for your life when you're getting a mate. So anyway, this man may feel he has not enough for what he really wants. And perhaps he feels he can never obtain enough in order to invest in what his eyes love and his heart or soul craves. And she, as a prize, could be won, long sitting on a shelf up high, as fine as she is, or as anointed as she is, or as powerful as she is. And I want ladies to not confuse being hidden for being forgotten. Because sometimes God's processing you in your call, in the understanding of yourself, and He's healing you maybe from what you learned, or He has to get you to unlearn certain stuff people put into you or put on you or called you to, but you got to go get your own calling, find out who you are enough and grow into that person enough. You're not going to be perfect when you meet this person that God's going to give to you, but you need to be grown enough that now you're coming into who you are enough and walking in it, that this man can't come along and tell you who you're not, even in his misunderstanding. Let him understand and get you later. But anyway, you have to be who God sent you to be. So, but this guy, sometimes the Lord shows a man who He wants. Sometimes the Lord shows a man whom to marry, but the women will be waiting a really long time, and it's because the Lord is, still getting some things in order, and but I don't want women to feel they are forgotten or confused being forgotten with being hidden or just on hold in that area of their life, of her life, right? So, sometimes it takes someone tall to reach what's been placed up high. Sometimes it takes one who will make the climb. Hey, even if a short man came by on a tall horse, even he can't reach her or get her this treasure, because he in himself, in essence, would never get off of his high horse and thereby miss an opportunity. I mean, a treasure. I mean, her. A treasure of a lifetime. It's going to take even a great buyer with the keen eye to recognize her difference. This prize, perhaps, even though she's beautiful. And this opportunity. I mean, even a man, no matter his height, will have to make the jump to reach and obtain this treasure. He cannot be intimidated by its beauty, worth, and value, or its difference, even the difference amongst all others, nor the task, the work it will take to obtain and care for it. No, he cannot be intimidated by this. If he won't do the work, or if he fears too much, or if he lets fear rule and not love, and won't take necessary actions to obtain, if he remains in fear or feels unworthy, then he's truly just not worthy. And maybe, just maybe, a potential buyer as him holds a treasure for a moment and looks at it, marvels, assesses it, enjoys it, handles it for a time. And the owner of the goods knows and allows, and the owner is God and is always watching. But if he, the man, won't pay the cost, even the owner of the store will shoo him away or take the treasure away, even out of his hands, because there are other potential buyers and hands and arms that are worthy to hold her. If he won't do what's needed, ladies, then don't be obtained. Don't stick around. Don't waste your life. As quickly as the owner, or God, the shop owner and the designer of you, removes this loitering one or loitering man, another will appear. When you clear out the old, the new will come. And then the processes may repeat. If you trust God, ladies, He will bring one who will count the cost, and though it may work him a lot to do so, knows it's worth it, and knows your value, and pay what's necessary, and not just window shop. And in years to come, you may see those same old window shoppers, time wasters, and past potential buyers come around, still unsure of what they want and still cheap. And ladies, if your nose is too high up in the air, you will be narcissistic. If you are a modern day Pharisee or carry any religious spirit, you will have your nose too high up in the air and you will be narcissistic and not in reality as to the fact that a man has options. Yes, as anointed as you are, a man still has options. And God shows them this. You as well. And men choose well, because you will be charged by the owner, who is God, and to take care for her and of her. And he is jealous for us. Make note and be aware of that the Lord is jealous for his handmaidens, especially us anointed ones, and those with a call on their life that makes them a different vessel. So you need to choose honor and honor her, or the Lord will come and take her away. And when the Lord takes her away, she is not allowed to return. And Christian ladies, if you get a religious spirit in you, you will become too snooty to the point that none can get close. To the point that you look for one that comes in a form and a fashion and with a certain wording or without certain words in their mouth. And if you are looking for a form and a fashion, you may dismiss something that is the most divine connection of your life with passion like fire, like you've never known. If you have a religious spirit, you will dismiss and make exit one who would cause you to have an entrance into the most beautiful and fruitful time of your life. If you have a religious spirit, you will be intolerant even if he flirts with you. If you have a religious spirit, you will be intolerant of him showing that he has attraction for you. If you have a religious spirit, you will miss what God could be sending, which could be the greatest puzzle piece of your life that makes your picture make total sense. If you have a religious spirit, you could be alone, not because you're waiting on God, but because you have a list that's so long of points that he needs to meet and a scale and a rating that he has to reach in every sort of area that you can think of where he needs to be perfect, that no one could come to love you. And you have to realize that you're worthy of love. And love conquers all. And if you live in this love that God wants you to live in, even love for yourself, then you will be even more open to love. If you have a religious spirit, you may seclude yourself and call it consecration. If you have a religious spirit, you can miss the time of love when the Lord's bringing it to you. If you live in fear, you will push away or sabotage your own divine connection and healing. Jesus is not all you need. When you have a religious spirit, you'll say Jesus is all you need while he's bringing someone divine to you, and you'll cut them off and burn the bridge or just never even acknowledge them. If you have a religious spirit, you need them to do rituals that you do. If you have a religious spirit, you'll not date them because they watch a TV show that you're convicted to not watch. If you have a religious spirit, you will not join to an imperfect person that God perfectly sends to you, that may be broken in some areas as you are, so that you can build an empire, take dominion, own, create, or run something. And you'll miss all this. If you have fear, lack love, or have a religious spirit. If you need to fit others' ideas for you, you'll miss the mate that God has for you. Because the perfect one could be so opposite of what your family has taught you that they need to be and that they need to come as. The religious ones missed the Lord when he came because they thought maybe he'd come down with a kingdom that was so great and golden throne chairs. But no, he came as this baby and not as a rich king, though he is. He came as a baby and he stayed in a manger because there was no room for him. If you have a religious spirit, fear, or lack love, you won't recognize a Boaz, a Savior, a saving grace, an angel, a connection that is like nothing you ever had before. You'll miss them. And you'll miss what you can have. If you have a religious spirit, you may be looking for your mate and thinking that you're waiting 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. You may be looking for your mate in the church system of man. But the Lord may have him or her outside of the box. The Lord may have the best option for you in the most unlikely place. I don't want you to miss Jesus. I don't want you to miss God. I don't want you to miss the Lord. I don't want you to miss the piece to your puzzle that you didn't know was missing. You didn't understand just how much you were missing this person. I don't want you to miss the rest of your healing. I don't want you to miss the next great chapter of your life. I don't want you to miss this doorway that's going to open other doorways. You know, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, the life. And he even said that he's a door. There are people that are like doors. There are people that are like doors that once you go to them, connect with them, a whole new world will open up to you. Some of you have calls in your life that make you to have to be alone for so long that you're anointed and you can prophesy, you know, and you can leave people just like that because you're used to speaking and leaving, speaking and leaving, speaking and leaving. But what happens when the Lord teaches you that you need to stay? Some of you have been so different from your birth. No one has understood you. They always wanted you to fit this box and mold, and that's why they ended up leaving you, because you didn't do things on their timetable and the world's timetable of this is what a mate should look like and be like and have by now and do. And some of you will be alone because others couldn't recognize who you were and your value, and they loved you. But they were like, you're not fitting this box, so I think it won't work because the world says it's not going to work if they don't fit this box, or they don't have this, or they don't do that, you know. And so others dumped you. So maybe you're used to being dumped and left. Maybe you're used to being moved a lot by the Lord. But I don't want you to miss who you're supposed to be with. Because you're so used to rejection. Or you're so used to not staying. Because you're so used to getting the call away. Or you're so used to seeing backs turn away and turn from you. When the Lord has a vessel that is different from a lot of vessels because they're like a minister or a prophetic person or a healer or an empath. He will hide you so much and train you so much because he's going to give you what the masses don't have to a different degree. If they have something, he'll give you it to a different degree and understanding in the spirit as far as that goes. And so you'll be so different that maybe you're used to being alone. But then there's a time when you're training or you're schooling where you needed to be alone for all of those years closes. And you have come into enough of understanding of who you are that now the Lord can release you to your mate. I don't want you to be so used to being alone that you miss it. Another thing that makes us not get the mate that God wants for us to get is thinking they have to be just like you, gifted as you. They may be a different gift or tool than you in many ways. But when the Lord's joining it, they can support you and you can support them. Or you may function in the same business or ministry together. Or you're just great at running your household together. Or not perfect, but the Lord's joining it. But I don't want people to look for another person's idea for you to be with, which is a mate that's not even who you really want or what you really want. I don't want you to miss who God's sending to you. I don't want you to be looking in the box or form or fashion and miss who he's sending to you. And I don't want you to be strictly looking for someone who's just like you. Only one of us can be with us. Because what will happen is you can miss the Lord when he's coming in another form. So let's be sensitive to the Spirit so that we can recognize God even when God's doing a new thing or a different thing. I always teach on my channel how to follow the Spirit, how to be coming into rest so we can get instructions from God or get our training in the Spirit and awaken in our five senses spiritually, not just five natural senses. Because I'm always trying to get you to see how to follow the Spirit, because if you can get that, then you'll know and you'll recognize God even when he's coming in a different way. Even when he's doing a new thing. Even when he's coming through someone you didn't expect. And even when there's a blesser that's going to bless you in unexpected ways. It may come in an unexpected form is what I'm saying. So anyway, this is what I wanted to share. My name is Anna Clark. You can find me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Apostle Anna Clark. ANNACLARK. That's how you spell my name. Or go back to my main page and find the link if I don't put it under the video below to my Facebook. It's the best way to get a hold of me. It's the best way to put in a prayer request because I will be alerted in my inbox in Facebook. And if you would like to, bless my ministry and outreach to people, then you can go to www.paypal.me/AnnaClark777. So that's paypal.me/ANNACLARK. And it has the numbers 777. PayPal.me/AnnaClark777. Okay, so any love gift of any amount will be appreciated, and the Lord will bless you because I'm His servant, I'm His prophet. And if you need some answers for your life, some confirmation on your path, the more out of the box you are, and confirmed by the Lord, but yet you feel like you want a little more confirmation, I can help you out. It doesn't matter what season of your walk in your Christianity that you're in, what expression you are from Him, what tool you are from Him. I can help you have more understanding as to who you are and how can you really live your life if you don't know who you are and what you came to do and what God wants to use you for. I can speak to your potential. I can speak to your gifts. I can stir them up, and I can help you to recognize them and help you to recognize who's who and what's what around your life. I'm also often an ear for people that I just hear them and I hear their issues and their problems, and then the Lord just tells me messages. Sometimes I just pray and I get visions, and boom, and I get messages for you. And once you connect with me, things may whip up in a whirl in your life because a shift will happen, and I will help you exit from an old season and enter a new season, and I will help you to recognize your moment and those connects that are near to you and what their purpose is. I can help you to know who your secret enemies are, who your secret haters are, who are the hindrances and blockades on your life. I can help you to know who are those voices that are speaking into your life, but the Lord's no longer using them, or the Lord just never sent them point blank to you. I can help you to get out of something that you've been stuck in. I can help change your season from rut to progression. So anyway, connect with me. My name is Anna Clark. I suffer for the body. Sometimes I'm poor so that you can be rich. He'll give me rich ideas for you just so that you can advance, but He hides me away, and He might just sustain me on a miracle. But I'm that prophet that goes to the widow, that tells her what she needs to go in her house and go secretly do so that she can see more in her life. So anyway, this is how God uses me. And so if you feel led to connect, do not let the enemy tell you that you're wasting my time or that I'm too busy for you. Because if the Lord in fact wants me to speak, He will send me back and He will make us connect. So please do connect with me, and we can help get some things moving in your life. Okay. Because this is what I do. And I've been doing this for at least 20 years. So I'm an apostle, I'm a seer, I'm a prophet. I'm part of the remnant that's even unboxing the prophets in the remnant from religiosity into the freedom that the Lord has for us to walk in. And so thank you for listening. I hope this has helped you. I hope it challenged, or at least maybe you already know this. Maybe you're already in a place called there. Maybe you've already achieved it. Maybe you know more. And maybe this just confirms what you already know. Maybe this encourages you. But above all, thank you so much for listening. Again, this is Anna Clark. Find me on www.facebook.com/Apostle Anna Clark. And that's all, you guys.